Hello and welcome to the IWF Online Youth World Cup. This is the men's 81 kilogram A session. This event is hosted by Peruvian Weightlifting, and we are delighted to be encouraging athletes to compete from all over the world wherever they have a safe place to lift. Good day, my name is Sally Vandewater. I'm coming to you from the United States. Let's meet the athletes in this session. Representing Hungary, Szilard Fekic. Representing Uzbekistan, Kolhajbakbar Olimov. Representing Bulgaria, Carlos Nassar.
Yes.
Representing Ecuador, Juan Guamud. Representing Mexico, Jonathan Ramos. Representing Russia, Daniel Kuzmichev. Representing Estonia, Alexander Mosienko. And the referees, Georgeta Ion, Romania. From the United States, Chris Kimura. And Doris Marrero from Venezuela. Reserve referee, Gardencia Dupluy from the Republic of South Africa, will participate only if another referee has a technical difficulty. This competition will proceed in rounds, with each athlete taking their first attempt, followed by a short break, and then their second and their third. We'll have a 10-minute break for the athletes to warm up before the start of the clean and jerk portion of the competition. 7 athletes here today in the final of the men's 81 kilogram category. This is the A session. We're about to begin. Now the time has expired. Let's call our first athlete to the platform, 115 kilos for the first attempt, representing Hungary, Fekic.
115 kilos para el primer intento de Szilard Fekic, de Hungría.
And that's a good lift for Fekic.
Ejercicio válido para el atleta húngaro.
Up next, 119 kilos, please, Jonathan Ramos of Mexico. First attempt.
Para el representante de México, 119 kilos, Ramos Chaires, su primer intento.
Good lift to Ramos.
Ejercicio válido para el representante mexicano.
123 kilos now, please, for the first attempt. Alexander Mosienko, Estonia.
123 kilos para el primer intento de Alexander Moisenko, de Estonia.
Good lift, Mosienko.
Ejercicio válido para el atleta de Estonia.
Now to Ecuador, 130 kilos for the first attempt. Juan David Guadalmud, Pico.
130 kilos para el primer intento de Juan David Guadamud, del Ecuador.
Good lift to Guadamud.
Ejercicio válido para el atleta ecuatoriano.
Now, 133 kilos. Daniel Kuzmichev, Russia. First attempt.
133 kilos para el primer intento del atleta ruso Daniel Kuzmichev.
Good lift by decision to Kuzmichev.
Ejercicio válido para el atleta ruso, 2 luces blancas y una luz roja.
Now, 138 kilos to Uzbekistan, Olimov, the athlete.
138 kilos para el primer intento de Olimov, de Uzbekistán.
A good lift for Koljakbar Olimov, Uzbekistan.
Ejercicio válido para el representante uzbeco.
Now, one final attempt, 150 kilos in the snatch. For the first attempt, Carlos Nassar, Bulgaria.
150 kilos para el primer intento de Carlos Nassar, de Bulgaria. Primer intento para él.
No lift.
Intento nulo.
We will now have a quick 30-second break to allow the coaches to make any final adjustments to their athlete's second attempt. You receive an automatic increase of 1 kilo from a successful attempt to the next. However, of course, often athletes want to take a higher jump than that. So we have a few seconds to make final changes. Each attempt will proceed in this way. Each athlete will have their first attempt, followed by their second, and then their third. We're now out of time. Let's go to 121 kilos for the second attempt to Hungary. Szilard Fekic.
Segundo intento con 121 kilos para Szilard Fekic, de Hungría.
No lift to Fekic.
Intento nulo para el representante húngaro.
124 kilos now, please, for the second attempt. Jonathan Ramos, Mexico.
Segundo intento con 124 kilos para Jonathan Ramos Chaires, de México.
Venga, 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 venga.
Tranquilo, abajo.
Good lift to Ramos.
Ejercicio válido para el atleta mexicano. Segundo intento.
Mosienko, now the athlete, 128 kilos for his second attempt. He's here representing Estonia.
128 kilos para Alexander Moisenko, de Estonia.
Good lift to Mosienko.
Ejercicio válido para el representante de Estonia.
Now, 135 kilos, please, for the second attempt in Ecuador. Juan David Guaramud.
Para Juan David Guaramud, segundo intento para el representante de Ecuador, ya está corriendo su tiempo. Time, please.
Good lift to Guaramud.
Ejercicio válido para el representante ecuatoriano.
138 kilos now for the second attempt in Russia. Daniel Kuzmachev.
138 kilos para el segundo intento de Daniel Kuzmachev, de Rusia.
Good lift.
Ejercicio válido para el atleta ruso.
Now, Olimov, the athlete representing Uzbekistan, 143 kilos for his second attempt.
143 kilos para el segundo intento del representante de Uzbekistán.
No lift.
Intentó.
Now, 150 kilos for the final attempt of Carlos Nassar. Final attempt of the second round.
150 kilos para el segundo intento del atleta Carlos Nassar de Bulgaria.
Good lift to Nassar.
Ejercicio válido para el representante búlgaro.
This concludes the second round of the snatches. We're moving along very quickly here in the men's 81 kilogram A session at the IWF Online World Cup. We'll have a quick break, about 20 more seconds for coaches to make any final changes they wish for their athletes' third and final attempt in the snatch. As time expires, let's now begin our third round of snatches. First up to Hungary, Szilard Fekic. Third attempt.
121 kilos para el tercer y último intento de Szilard Fekic, de Hungría.
No lift.
Intento nulo.
Next up, 127 kilos, please, to Mexico's Jonathan Ramos.
127 kilos para el tercer y último intento de Jonathan Ramos Chaires, representante de México.
Venga, vamos. Bien seguro, Mini, dale.
No lift to Ramos.
Intento nulo para el representante mexicano.
129 kilos now, please, for the third attempt in the snatch. Alexander Mosienko, Estonia.
Tercer y último intento para el representante de Estonia, Alexander, 129 kilos.
No lift.
Intento nulo.
140 kilos now for the third attempt in the snatch. Juan David Guaramud.
Tercer y último intento para el representante ecuatoriano Juan Guadamud, 140 kilos.
Good lift to Guaramud.
Ejercicio válido para el representante ecuatoriano, 140 kilos.
We stay at 140 kilos, but we go to Russia. Daniel Kuzmachev, the athlete. Third attempt.
Tercer y último intento para el representante de Rusia, Daniel Kuzmachev, 140 kilos también.
Good lift to Kuzmachev.
Ejercicio válido para el atleta ruso.
Olimov, now the athlete, 143 kilos for his final attempt in the snatch.
143 kilos para el atleta de Uzbekistán.
No lift.
Intento nulo.
One final attempt in the snatch now. 155 kilos to Bulgaria's Carlos Nassar.
155 kilos para Carlos Nassar de Bulgaria, tercer y último intento.
Good lift to Carlos Nassar.
Ejercicio válido para el representante búlgaro.
This concludes the snatch portion of the men's 81 kilogram A session. Here's a quick look at the scoreboard. Coming in first place with the snatch, 155 kilos to Nassar of Bulgaria. Next up at 140 kilos, Guaramud of Ecuador. And then in third place, going into the clean and jerk, Kuzmachev of Russia. We'll now have a quick 10-minute break to allow the athletes time to warm up for their clean and jerk. Please, during the break, enjoy an interview conducted today with Dr. Michael Irani, Interim President of the International Weightlifting Federation. We'll be right back. Hello, welcome back. My name is Sally Vandewater. I'm one of the hosts of this online World Cup. I'm delighted to be here with Dr. Michael Irani, who, as the world knows, was recently appointed as the interim president of the International Weightlifting Federation. Dr. Irani, thank you for joining us here today.
Pleasure. Great to be here, actually, to see the lifting. I'm just so pleased that this is the first large event and we've got tremendous lifting going on. Yesterday was something else. It's unbelievable. Good.
Absolutely. It's been a great pleasure to watch and to be able to call these
I
lifts.
bet.
I think that, you know, all eyes in the weightlifting world are on you right now. What do you think can be done? How do you plan to shape and mold the future of the sport so that we can, in fact, stay in the Olympics? There's been a lot of you know, warnings from the IOC about the actions that the IWF has taken recently. What do you think we can do to retain our Olympic position?
Well, thank you for asking that one. That's the whole, you know, gist of being an interim rather than a permanent. Going to see how we do. The most important thing to remember is, why are we here? We're here for the athlete. If there was no athlete, there wouldn't be any need for us. There wouldn't be any weightlifting, and this is so tragic. It would be so tragic. So we've got to look after the guys that are actually doing the work, the lifting of the weights, the training, etc. So with that in mind, the big things are ethics and governance and disciplinary, etc., and the doping. With doping, we're absolutely mindful. We've always been mindful of doping, but just blinking, stopping it happening. But then we had big problems at the top of the tree. The top of the tree, well, we didn't know what was going on. So basically, we believed what was told. We couldn't deny it. We couldn't explore it. We just had to accept what was given. As you know, you may have been at, or you may have heard what was going on. So we've set up a commission. In fact, we've set up 3 commissions. One is the ADR, the Adverse Drug Results, Doping Results Commission, which is going to be run now by the ITA, the Independent Testing Agency, which is an organisation rather that'll feed into WADA, etc. They're going to do everything. We won't have any say in the matter. If they say we're going to test, they're going to test. If they say we don't need to test, they don't need to test. That's it. We're going to accept that. Then if they find anything abnormal, then they need to investigate them. They'll do forensic investigations, and then depending on the results, they'll put the case through, if it's appealed against, back to or up to the CAS, to the Court on Arbitration in Sport. So we won't have anything. There will be one person there, or 2 people if they need to, who can be called in ad hoc for interest in some aspect that the commission doesn't know about, because they're not weightlifting people. They're completely legal lawyers, etc., who are associated with other sports, perhaps, etc. And we've got these. As one is the Reform and Governance Commission, which is going to be run by Darren Kane, an Australian. He's absolutely top notch, attached to FINA, and he's already set up meetings and has a timetable as to which topics to look at first. Then we've got the Ethics and Disciplinary Commission, run by a lovely lady called Mamarina. Her first name is, I've got to look, Despina, and she's Greek and Swiss. She lives in Switzerland and works there. But she would be good for European law and, of course, Swiss law, which is very important. And that's for ethics. So she will find, was this an ethical thing that was happening, or was it unethical, and the sanctions that need to be exacted. And that would go through to CAS as well, if necessary. And the third was the important one of the ITA that I mentioned earlier. You know, so it's going to be really, really tough for anybody to now omit being tested. Like here, where you are, they'll be testing there. And of course, yesterday's records and things, it's not a world record. It's going to be an e-record, if you like. And that's another thing that's going to happen. That's going to change. I hope it'll change, where you'll get low travel costs. People won't need to travel. You've not needed to travel. I've not needed to travel. We're talking here thousands of miles apart. You're in Canada and I'm in London, you see. So, and there's lifting going on all around the world now at the moment, which is magnificent. This is brilliant. If the IOC wanted to know about how popular weightlifting is, just look at what's happening now.
It's true. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Verbose reply to your response.
That's all right. That's all right. What do you see as some of the first actions the executive board is going to take to continue this reform?
Well,
or what are you hoping will be some of their first actions?
I think we've got to listen to what the IOC says, and that is to start getting more female commitment in there. In fact, for this tournament, there's 218 men, 184 ladies, and that puts it 402 total. And the ratio is 1 to 1.16. That means for every 100 women that are there, there's 116 men. So there's only sort of 16 per 100 women, and there's 184, so that makes it 1.16, you see. Anyway, that's very important. It has to be popularized. It has to be made safe, which it is incredibly safe. You think of the weight they're lifting. You think of the weight they're lifting. They're lifting 2.5 tons body weight in some instances. And that, if you mislift it, get it wrong, you're cream crackered. You know, you're going to be really, really asking for serious help to go up. So we've got to look after the athlete and represent them properly. So the athletes commission as well. And from that, there's two things we've done. One is we've got to ask not for whom the bell tolls. We have this thing on getting two people onto the executive board from the athletes commission. We're going to draw them in, the chairman and the deputy and their deputy. At the moment, one will get, after the Electoral Congress and the Constitutional Congress, one will get a vote, which they don't have at the moment. And hopefully, in the fullness of time, not too long, there'll be the other one will get a vote. So two will get a vote. We will try and get 30%. We'll try and get 30 people into 30 women, 30% women, for commissions and overall committees, etc. So that's going to be fantastic, you see. So that'll be good. Then there's something.
Well, really, thank you.
You may think it is odd, but Dr. Bach mentioned this almost as sort of a passing thing, but we've taken it seriously, and that's sustainability and legacy. Carbon footprints and recycling. You see all these things that we tend to put down at the bottom of the list, but they could be done. Why not? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to work it out. You know, recycling, we can do it, and that would be great if we do. Water bottles, the weights themselves, the rubber rings around the weights that you can vulcanize and use them for platforms rather, so on and so forth. Anyway, those are ideas that will come to fulfillment, I'm sure.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Irani. It's really wonderful to hear about those marks towards progress you'll be making. If I may recommend 50% women, that might not be a bad idea either. I think we're just about
we'd love to get 30. We'd love to get 30, but the difficulty finding
without doubt
that can spare the time. We'd love to have them.
I assure you we're out there. I assure you we're here. But thank you very much for your time. We are just about out of time, but thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us all the way from London.
Thank you,
we'll get
Sally,
back to lifting now.
Enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you.
We will. Bye.
Bye. Thanks. And welcome back. This is the final portion of the men's 81 kilogram A session here at the IWF Online Youth World Cup. We're pleased to be presenting over 400 athletes from 61 countries around the world competing against each other in real time during this 8-day competition. Let's begin with the clean and jerks. 145 kilos now for the first attempt. To Hungary, Szilard Fecic.
145 kilos para el primer intento de Szilard Fecic de Hungría.
That's a good lift for Fekic.
Ejercicio válido este primer movimiento para el representante húngaro.
Next up, 148 kilos for the first attempt, Mosienko, Estonia.
148 kilos para el representante de Estonia, Alexander Mosienko, primer intento.
Good lift to Mosienko.
Ejercicio válido para el representante de Estonia.
157 kilos now, please, for the first attempt in the clean and jerk, Juan David Guaramud, Ecuador.
157 kilos para el primer intento de Juan Guadamud del Ecuador.
Good lift by decision.
Ejercicio válido en decisión dividida, 2 luces blancas.
Now, 157 kilos, please, for the first attempt, Jonathan Ramos, Mexico.
157 kilos para el primer intento de Jonathan Ramos de México.
Good lift to Ramos.
Ejercicio válido para el atleta mexicano.
Next up, 165 kilos. Koljakmar Olimov, Uzbekistan, the athlete.
165 kilos para el primer intento de Olimov de Uzbekistán.
Good lift to Olimov.
Ejercicio válido para el representante uzbeco.
170 kilos now, please. Representing Russia, this is the first attempt for Daniel Kuzmichev.
170 kilos para el primer intento de Daniel Kuzmichev de Rusia.
Good lift, Kuzmichev.
Ejercicio válido para el atleta ruso.
Now, 180 kilos for the final first attempt in the clean and jerk. Carlos Nassar, Bulgaria.
180 kilos para el primer intento del representante de Bulgaria, Carlos Nassar.
Good lift to Nassar.
Ejercicio válido para el representante búlgaro.
We'll now have a quick 30-second break. This time allows coaches to make any final changes to their athlete's second attempt. Each athlete will then proceed in order and take their second attempt before a final break and then the third and final attempt. The best snatch for each athlete is combined with their best clean and jerk, and that creates each athlete's total result. Final awards are given out according to each athlete's best total. And as time expires, let's begin the second round. 150 kilos, please, now, to Hungary, and Szilard Fekic.
150 kilos para el segundo intento del representante de Hungría, Szilard Fekic.
No lift.
Intento nulo.
153 kilos now, please, to Estonia, Alexander Mosienko.
153 kilos para el segundo intento de Alexander de Estonia.
Good lift, Mosienko.
Ejercicio válido para el representante de Estonia, Mosienko.
162 kilos now, please, for the second attempt to Ecuador, Juan Guaramud.
162 kilos para el segundo intento de Juan Guadamud, representante ecuatoriano.
Good lift, Guaramud.
Ejercicio válido para el representante del Ecuador.
Now, 162 kilos, please. Jonathan Ramos, Mexico, now the athlete.
162 kilos para el segundo intento del representante Ramos de México.
Good lift to Ramos.
Ejercicio válido para el atleta mexicano.
Olemov, now the athlete, 170 kilos for his second attempt.
170 kilos para Olimov de Uzbekistán.
Good lift, Olimov.
Ejercicio válido para el representante uzbeko.
175 kilos now, please, in the second attempt to Russia's Daniel Kuzmichev.
Segundo intento con 175 kilos para Daniel Kuzmichev, de Rusia.
Good lift to Kuzmichev.
Ejercicio válido para el atleta ruso.
One final second attempt in this clean and jerk portion. 190 kilos, please, to Bulgaria's Carlos Nassar.
190 kilos para el segundo intento de Carlos Nassar, de Bulgaria.
Good lift, Nassar.
Ejercicio válido para el atleta búlgaro, 190 kilos.
One more final break. As the athletes and coaches contemplate their third attempt, which will determine the final medal placement. After this final round of attempts, we will have a short break, and then we'll come back with the victory ceremony for this category. This is the IWF Online Youth World Cup, produced by the Peruvian Weightlifting Federation. Now, let's begin that final round of competition. 150 kilos now, please, to Szilard Fekes, Hungary.
150 kilos para el tercer y último intento de Szilard Fekes, de Hungría.
No lift.
Intento nulo.
158 kilos now, please. In Estonia, Alexander Moisienko.
158 kilos para el tercer y último intento de Alexander Mosienko, de Estonia.
Good lift by decision.
Ejercicio válido. 2 luces blancas, 1 luz roja para el atleta de Estonia.
168 kilos now, please. Jonathan Ramos, Mexico, now the athlete.
168 kilos para el tercer y último intento de Jonathan Ramos, de México.
No lift to Ramos.
Intento nulo para el atleta mexicano.
171 kilos now, please. To Ecuador, Juan Guaramud.
171 kilos para el tercer y último intento de Juan Guadamut del Ecuador.
No lift, Guaramud.
Intento nulo para el atleta ecuatoriano.
174 kilos now, please, for the final attempt to Uzbekistan. Olimov, the athlete.
174 kilos para el tercer y último intento de Olimov de Uzbekistán.
No lift, Olimov.
Intento nulo para el atleta uzbeco.
One final attempt in the clean and jerk. It belongs to Russia's Daniel Kuzmachev.
180 kilos para el tercer y último intento de Daniel Kuzmachev de Rusia.
Good lift to Kuzmachev.
Ejercicio válido para el atleta ruso.
And the gold medalist for this session, Nasar of Bulgaria, has declined his third attempt. Let's take a look at this final scoreboard here. Very exciting competition, excellent performance from all the athletes. We'll take a short break now to look at highlights, and then we'll be back with the medal ceremony. And now here are the snatch results in the men's 81 kilogram category. Coming in third place with the bronze medal, Daniel Kuzmachev of Russia. Silver medalist representing Ecuador, Guaramud. And gold medalist from Bulgaria, Carlos Nassar. In the clean and jerk, bronze medalist goes to Uzbekistan, Olimov. Silver medalist, Russia, Kuzmichev. And gold medalist from Bulgaria, Carlos Nassar. And the total medals. Bronze medalist, representing Uzbekistan, Olimov. Silver medalist, representing Russia, Kuzmichev. And gold medalist, representing Bulgaria, Nassar. These are the medalists in the men's 81 kilogram category. Please join us for the national anthem of Bulgaria. Thank you for joining us for the men's 81 kilogram A session. This is Sally Vandewater signing off from the United States. Please join us again in half an hour's time for the final competition of this afternoon, the women's 64 kilogram A session. Thank you. On behalf of the Peruvian Weightlifting Federation and the IWF, thank you for joining us for the IWF Online Youth World Cup.